Hello all. Welcome back to Learn with Techies, where we explore the latest and greatest in world of artificial intelligence. I'm your host, and today we have something truly exciting to dive into. We are going to take a journey to ChatGPT Playground. So in my past videos, you have all seen we can get amazing results with the prompt in ChatGPT UI only. So you might be wondering why use ChatGPT Playground. While ChatGPT UI is very easy to use, but it provides very limited customization. But ChatGPT Playground can do all of that. It lets you explore different prompts, tweak the settings, and see how AI responds. You can experiment with various input style, test out creative scenarios, and witness the incredible adaptability and creativity of AI language model. This is also a first step to actually code application based on OpenAI APIs. So in today's video, I'll show you how to get started with ChatGPT Playground, walk you through some mind-blowing examples, and demonstrate the true potential of same. But before we jump right in, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update from our AI journey. And if you enjoyed this video, do remember to give it a big thumbs up to show your support. This is the ChatGPT Playground. I'll be posting the link of the same in video description below. So this is where you can write all of your text. These are the different customization that it has. We will go over each of them. So let's start from the top down. So the first option we will be talking about is this, the mode. So while ChatGPT only has one mode, that is the chat mode, here in OpenAI Playground, you can get 4 modes: complete, chat, insert, and edit. Let's start with complete mode. Complete mode is for when you need help finishing a sentence or paragraph. You can type in few words and ChatGPT will suggest ways to complete your thought. Suppose I add something like I went to a store and bought. So this is what it added, the term apple itself, and then it also adds some other conversation. You can use complete mode to help you finish a story or poem. You could also use it to help you write a letter or email or brainstorm ideas for project. Now let's move on to the chat mode. Chat mode is like having a conversation with friend. You can type in anything you want and ChatGPT will respond in natural way. For example, you could ask ChatGPT a question or tell it a story and it can respond like how we respond to another human. The good thing about this is like this part. Here you can add some context also so that the ChatGPT understand what type of model it needs to be. So this is the context I have provided. You are a host of trivia quiz game. You are very enthusiastic and friendly. Ask user questions about USA history and script. I can submit it. You can see it has given a concept and it has also given us these questions. Now, if you wanted it to be more on the chat side, like one at a time, then you could have written something like, so this is what I have added. You are a host of trivia quiz game. You are very enthusiastic and friendly. Ask user questions and wait for response. And then about USA history and sports. So here, it goes ahead and asks a question and then it waits for a response. So depending on type of context you provide, you can change your questions. The third mode that we want to cover is insert mode. Insert mode is for when you need help adding additional information to a sentence or a paragraph. You can type in few words and ChatGPT will suggest ways to add more information. So suppose I have written something like this. I like California. I have asked OpenAI, insert some new text here. And then I have added my endings text. Let's see what it's returning. I like California. I can't wait to stay here. And here it has added all of its own text. It's a great place to visit and enjoy the sunshine. The beaches are beautiful. The cities are vibrant and so forth. The last mode that I want to talk about is the edit mode. So here, edit mode is when you need help fixing grammar or spelling mistake. You can type in sentences or paragraph and ChatGPT will highlight any error. It works similar to how you have those AI writing assistant. So let's try this out with an example. So this is what I have added. The input is very wrong, clearly you can see, and the instruction that I have added is fix the grammar and correct spelling mistakes. So this is what it has added. I ate apple yesterday, today and tomorrow, and this is actually correct. The next thing I want to cover is in the complete mode. So basically one thing that I did not talk about while I was talking about complete mode is this upload audio or upload speech. So while in ChatGPT you can only ask question by typing anything, in OpenAI Playground you can also ask something. You just have to click on this one and this will open the audio dialog. Now you can either start recording to ask your question or you can upload any audio from your computer. That could be an MP4, MP3 or anything else. I can ask a question by start recording. So I will start recording. Write a tagline in 5 words for ice cream shop. So it has correctly transcribed, and now I can use this as an input and submit it to get something. So this is a really good feature, and I think this is something that was missing from ChatGPT also, to have it speech enabled. Now the other option that we need to talk about are these models. There are different kind of models here, like DaVinci, Curie, Ada, Babbage. There are other models also here. So these all models have different costing, and these are arranged in order of most performant to least performant. So you can choose any model here you want, depending on your pricing or your usage also. Like you can see, if you hover over it, it says what about its strength and use case. The next topic that we want to cover is temperature. Basically, temperature control randomness. So if you make it to the maximum, the text will be completely random. But if you make it to 0, the text will be very predictive and repetitive. So let's try this out. So this is what I have added to write a short poem on cats. So this is what is given with 0 temperature. Now if I want the same thing with 2 temperature, so if I added a 2, it's completely random. Some of the words I don't even understand. Entire, soul, sal, tech. I'm not sure what this means, but this is completely random. Now the next one that I want to cover is maximum length. This is maximum number of tokens to generate. You can generate up to 4,000 tokens for a particular request or response. But you can also control it. Like if you want for each of your request and response, your token should always be less than 380. Then you can put this number, or you can put any number that you want as to set up a limit. The next thing that I want to now cover is top P. Top P is a setting in ChatGPT Playground that controls the diversity of generated text. Its value between 0 and 1, where 0 means that model will only generate the most likely next word, and 1 means that model can generate any word regardless of its likelihood. A higher top P value will result in more diverse and creative text, while a lower top P value will result in more focused and predictable text. Let's test this out. Let's write a short poem on cat. And I've put the top P as 1. So this is what it has given. Now, for the same thing, let me go ahead and put the top P as 0. So you can see both of the examples here, and you can see the difference. How changing top P helps. Now there could be a question for you, like the temperature and top P kind of seem similar, but there is a basic difference between them. Top P is a parameter that controls the randomness of an output. A higher top P value will result in more random outputs. Like if we put the top P to 1, there were many random words that were coming: cuddly, soft, sweet, furry, and all of that. While temperature is a parameter that controls the creativity of the output. A higher temperature value will result in more creative output, while a lower temperature value will result in more factual output. So while top P is related to random outputs, temperature is related to creative outputs. Imagine you are at a toy store. You can ask for any toy you want, and the store will give it to you. But the store will only give you a toy that is top 50% of the most popular. This is like top P. Here you have set the top P to be 0.5. Now imagine you are at a toy store, but this time the store will give you any toy you want, no matter how popular. This is like temperature. So difference between top P and temperature is that top P controls how many toys you can choose from. Like earlier it was 50%, only from 50% toys you can choose something. And temperature controls how likely it is that you will get a popular toy. Like you're allowed to choose anything, but depending on the temperature, you can either get a most popular toy. The crux is, like if you are trying to generate creative text, then you might want to use a higher top P value and a lower temperature value. However, if you are trying to generate factual text, then you might want to use a lower top P value and a higher temperature value. So of course, while you're working on that, you have to keep playing with all of this value to get the right result. Now let's talk about frequency penalty and presence penalty. So I'll be talking both of them together as they are kind of similar concepts, something like top P and temperature. So frequency penalty is used to discourage the model from repeating the same word or phrases too frequently within the generated text. While presence penalty is used to discourage the model from using same word or phrases that have already used in the prompt. It's like, imagine you have a friend who loves to tell story. They always start their story with the same word, like once upon a time or in a faraway land. It can get a little boring after a while, right? So frequency penalty and presence penalty are two tools that can help you make your friend's story more interesting. Frequency penalty lowers the chances that your friend will use the same word over and over again. Presence penalty lowers the chances that your friend will use word that it has already used in the same story. So I'll give you one more example. Suppose you are writing a story about a dog. You might start by saying, once upon a time, there was a dog named Spot. Frequency penalty is like saying, I don't want to say once upon a time again in the story. This means that model is less likely to generate the phrase once upon a time. It will not repeat itself. Presence penalty is like saying, I don't want to use the same word spot twice in a row. This means that model is less likely to generate the word spot again right after it has been generated, so it will be more creative. We can try using different values for both of this to see how it affects the text. Now let's try this out. You can go ahead and try it out with different values. Here I can try it out with one. Suppose I used it like this. I put the presence penalty as 0 and frequency penalty as 2. That means it will be factually correct and it will not be repeating itself. You can experiment with it to try how many different texts it gives for different values. Now the next one I want to cover is Inject Start Text and Restart Text. These two settings in ChatGPT Playground can be used to automatically insert text before and after a GPT-3 response. Suppose you are writing an API to create codes and you want to make sure that the answers you provide are well formatted. So what you can do, you can add it here, like your after and before your response, you should have an empty line and it should return to the next line. So in this way, if I could write, so if you can see, it has started from a different line and it's also ending in the another line. The next settings is show probabilities. The show probability settings in ChatGPT Playground allows you to see the probability that GPT-3 assigned to each word in a phrase in its response. This can be most helpful to understand how GPT-3 is making its decisions and for identifying the most likely interpretation of its response. Let's check this out with an example. Suppose I use most likely and I submit it. So here, if you hover over it, you can see the for has 80% chances, comment has 5.87% chances, and so forward. So here you can see the probability of each word ChatGPT has, and this will help you to understand why it pick up the response. And you can also go ahead and artificially code it, like I wanted something instead of most likely, I want something like least likely, or I want something that like full spectrum. So you can make your APIs more creative. It will also help you to understand why for some of the scenario the API is answering in the way it is. Now the next one that I want to cover is this load up preset. So here you can see it has also given some examples that you can use. Like suppose I want to use Q&A, then it has given me all of this already created templates. If I want to use something like summarize for a 2-grader, then this is also it has given. I can go ahead and also save this preset with my own name and give my own description, and I can also share this one. The last thing that I want to talk about is this view code. This is something that I use a lot. Like clicking on it, you can get the code that was used in the playground. I use it generally for if I want to create a contact and to make sure that I have the right field values. So the good thing is like you can change the language here also, and you can copy the code also. So that's it for today. Thanks for joining in. Do post your comment in the video below. And do join us into the next video where we will be actually coding and creating our own OpenAI APIs. Thank you, and we'll see you again in next session of Learn with Techies.